Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Love Your Vibe podcast. I'm your host, Sean Robert Grant. So happy to have you with me, and so happy to have you joining me on this podcast today. Love Your Vibe in the building. Super excited, always ready to see what's going to come through today. And what we'll be able to learn and take from it and implement into our lives. So I've really been on this belief concept and the beliefs of our lives and how it shapes everything that we do. And it has been just magnificent to see all the stuff, all the nuggets that are bursting through as it relates to the concept of belief and as it relates to our life. And so what tends to happen sometimes is that you get these bits of wisdom and immediately a revelation takes place as it relates to something in your own life. And you're just like, wow. And so for me, that's sort of kind of how it's been from the standpoint of putting myself in a position to really and truthfully understand what makes my life actually be the way that it is. And so that's a really, really important question for all of us to ask ourselves. What makes my life manifest the way that it does? Okay, and we can go through it, like just for instance, if this is your first time on this podcast, the first thing you might think is that, you know what, you just kind of go through life hoping for the best, keeping your head down, working hard, and hoping that the chips fall where they may. Period. You know, next level of consciousness is I'm going to work as hard as I possibly can, you know, bust through the noise, and I'm going to force things to happen, which is a little bit better than the first level, but not really that much better considering you wind up exhausted and like just ready to just basically pass out after exerting all that physical energy. But the third is where you want to be when you ask yourself, what causes my life to manifest the exact way that it does? And I've said it before. I'll say it again. It's emotionalized thought. It's the focus of your thoughts and the feelings behind them that determines what manifests within your life. Okay? And you can prove this and take me to the bank or whatever it is, but this is proven in your life if you look. So for me, ever since I've made this shift of like really understanding that my thoughts are amplifying everything in my life, I don't even begin to entertain anything negative. If I do, I immediately flip the switch and I'll say an affirmation. I'll start saying an affirmation, you know, really intensely to shift my energy, to shift my thoughts, because I've done that for so long. I've been exposed to that for so long in my life that I just don't. I choose to be positive only. I choose to inundate and submerge myself in positivity. And that is what creates the difference, because then I look at my life and that's all I get back, because not only am I putting positivity out, but I'm feeling it and I'm focusing intently on it. And the quote goes, energy flows where attention goes, which once again, thoughts expand. So in getting back to that third level, using your thought, you know, something as simple as the idea that you can have an affirmation that says, plainly put, everything is working out perfectly for me. Everything is working out perfectly for me, or everything always works out for my very best. And you say that over and over, and you say it and you believe it. And it can transform the way your life unfolds. Can transform the way your life unfolds. And so, getting into today's topic, because this kind of leads into it, I want you to take a moment to think about all the times that you've been in a position to where your life has sort of unfolded in a way that would fall along the lines of, I'm just trying not to mess this up, right? I'm just trying not to mess this up. I can be honest with you and truthful with you. When I used to be a people pleaser, that's exactly how I operated. And how in the hell did I succeed at a lot of things like that? I have no idea. But I look back on it, and it was the worst possible condition to have for anybody who loves being creative, who loves being, expansive in their expression. It's the absolute worst. But I used to carry that energy. I just don't want to mess up because I was afraid of failure. But see, failure is not even really failure. Failure is just oftentimes a lesson to teach you how to do something better. But I didn't know it at the time. But now looking at my life, once I made the shift as I don't want to mess this up to I'm just going to give it 100%, and I know it's going to work out perfectly. I know I'm going to succeed one way or another. I'm going to succeed. Even if it looks like failure, because everything works out perfectly, it's going to work out for me. It's going to come full circle. And I believe that now, and it works. It works. It's a simple shift within your life, within your consciousness, that goes from you tippy-toeing to full out sprinting through the track of life or down the track of life. You're not walking on eggshells, and walking on eggshells, like I said, I've been there before through that experience. It's not fun because you don't feel like you can truly be yourself. Whereas when you know life is working out for you, when you know everything's perfect, when you know you're on point, you're running, having a good time, grazing your hands across the trees and the grass, and you're just doing it up because you just know, and you believe. And that allows you to be into a position to where you're going to succeed at everything. And it just gets back to that simple shift in belief, but that simple shift in energy as opposed to not trying to mess up. Because you know what happens when you're not trying to mess up? The perfect example of this would be driving your car. Let's say you get a brand new Ferrari and you're on an open road. One of the most beautiful open roads is like driving the I-10 from California to somewhere east to Louisiana, Florida, whatever it is. But there's a strip where you kind of get to Arizona, the New Mexico area, sort of kind of in the California desert. And I mean, you can just fly. So let's say you get a brand new Ferrari and you're ready to go. And all of a sudden you rev that sucker up, you press on the gas, but then all of a sudden you press on the brake and you're holding the brake and the gas at the same time. Gas and brake at the same time can damn near ruin the engine. It just exhausts the hell out of the car. And this is the exact same thing that's happening to your energy, to your insides, when you attempt to do something without messing up, as opposed to doing something and saying, you know what, rev it up, hit the gas, let me go, And that's a perfect example, because only when we're hitting the gas are we going to experience that joy, that energy, that life, because that's what it is, that life with just the wind in our hair and just observing as we speed down, the road. And so it's important to know that you're on one of those paths. You're either pressing the gas and the brake at the same time. Actually, three things. pressing the brake and the gas at the same time, or you're not pressing the gas at all and you got the car in park, or you're in like fourth or fifth gear and you're just throttling, you're just revving it up and you're just moving. That's where you want to be. That's where you want to be, because that gives you the most confidence. That lets the car know that the car can really go. It's fast. It's capable. It's dynamic. It's confident in what it was built to do. It's a great analogy to life. You've got to be capable. You've got to be confident. You got to be dynamic. You got to know that you can sprint down that path and you can power yourself through anything that life brings you when you have the right type of mindset and the right type of energy. Guys, it is beyond amazing when you learn how to say, you know what, gas, foot on the gas, foot on the pedal, let's go. Let's just do this. And let's just take it as it comes. Take it as it comes. And understanding that it's all up to you. It's all up to you, guys. It's all up to you. Like, what I hope that this podcast does is this podcast allows you to see that your life is up to you. Your life is contingent upon you and how you live it and what comes in and what quality of it you have. Because once you get that, once you really, really understand the truth of that in your life, look out, because you're going to take off. You're going to take off. You're going to take off. And I like, people always ask me, because I was a very mild-mannered young man in high school, very reserved, very fearful, not really the type of individual that I am today. And, I'm not, by no means am I saying that, I'm this individual who has it all together or whatnot. But when I left college, I knew in my heart that I needed to be better. I needed to improve. And so there was something inside of me that just made a decision, made a belief, and said, you know what? This is who I truly am. This is who I'm going to be. And I just learned to be resilient, to be forthright, to be understanding of what I truly desired out of life. And I look at my life now. I mean, that was pretty much 17 years ago since I was in college. And I see who I am today, and I look back on that person that I was. And the one difference is my mind believes that anything that I desire, I can have. Without question. It believes that anything I desire, I can have. I wanted a beautiful wife, beautiful soulmate with a kind heart, a loving heart, who appreciated me, who understood me, who connected with me for me. I got that. I wanted to buy a home in Los Angeles, which seemed like it would be damn near impossible. I got that. I wanted to be an actor. Nobody in my family had ever become an actor. And I was just off from playing football for the last 20 years. Nobody had any faith. Maybe one person, two people. I did that. Still doing that to this day. I wanted to write a book, wanted to write a book and change people's lives called Prosperity Secrets. I did that. I wanted to be one of the top trainers in Los Angeles, top fitness trainers in Los Angeles. Didn't even have a certification, but I did that. And I don't say this to brag, but I am proud of everything that has unfolded. And the reason I'm proud of it is because I know that when I shifted from I don't want to mess this up to I'm going to succeed without a shadow of a doubt, that's when my life transformed. And it will do the same for you. You just have to make up your mind. Make up your mind, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. Always, always a pleasure. We'll talk soon. Take care.